Hello everybody, thank you for joining me once again. This is video number 8 and we have something a little different. I'm going to start getting into a few of the laptops that I have here to tear down. This is a Dell with a nice red lid on it. It is a Dell Inspiron 1521. It has Windows Vista on it. It has an AMD what does that say? Turion? I forget all of those brand names and things. It does have a DVD rewriter on the side and a few other things. So this is what we're going to tear down today. So let's do a tour. Okay, here's the tour of our Dell Inspiron. Again, there it is, Inspiron 1521. Those were the num lock, caps lock, and screen lock indicators. That was the home button and power button. This will not boot up. The battery is really dead and I don't have a power adapter ready for it. There's the trackpad with the 2 mouse buttons. And there's that AMD Turion 64X2 along with the Windows Vista Basic sticker. Let's get to the side here. There's that DVD-ROM drive. There's a FireWire port. Now that's a mini FireWire of the 1394. VGA, Ethernet, and then you can see the 2 USB ports. There's the red lid. Along the back here we have, that was S-Video, 2 more USB ports and the power port. And then this was for here, if you can see that. That is a modem. And then on this side, we have, there was a switch to turn the Wi-Fi on or off, I guess for, I believe it was for airport travel, airplane travel. You could turn off the Wi-Fi to put it in airplane mode. That's the heatsink showing there through these vents to cool the processor. 2 audio ports, microphone, headphone. And there was a PCMCIA, whatever port. In fact, if we hit this little thing here would come out. Now you could get different ports, or I'm sorry, different cards that would go into that PCMCIA port. Those were used quite frequently, actually. I had a bunch of them. Now this is interesting. It has buttons on the front here to play the music or DVD on your laptop. And this slid that way to open up because it did lock. You can see that would lock it. It had 2 teeth there that would go out into those lids there. And yeah, there you go. Those might have been microphones. I'm not sure. There is no camera on here. But I guess that's what it was. Nothing special about the keyboard here, I believe. If you see anything special, let me know. But it's pretty standard. So there we be. Let's tear it down now. Now, this is the first laptop I'm tearing down on the channel, so bear with me if things don't quite go as well as we had hoped. Here is the bottom. We did not tour that earlier. Not a lot of information there, I believe. Did have a strike zone here, which meant don't strike it there because that's where the hard drive is. We'll pull that out as well. Speakers here that were on the bottom. Cooling fan right here. This was where the RAM was possibly. And the battery was locked in. You could lock it or in or out or whatever. There's the battery. Now it did have a button here you could press to check on the charge level, but it is obviously very dead. There's the model of it. There you be. So let's really tear this thing down now. Not sure if this is going to work or not, but I'm going to try it. Hey, look at that. I believe it is going to work. So let's see what's in there. Okay, there's the Wi-Fi card. These other ones, it says WPAN and WWAN. Well, that's interesting. And here's the connections. That's very interesting. Now, WWAN, that's wide area network. I guess you could put in like maybe a self type of connector in there. Not real sure. These little it doesn't have screws. It just has this little connector thing here. I believe we could just pop that out, or you can zoom in on that if you like. But yeah, that's wireless local area network, a DW1490. I remember that number for some reason. This was a very common card in laptops in the day. Let's see what other areas we can open up here. I'm not sure if you can even see that. This is where the RAM would be, I believe, or M for memory. And it does have one stick of RAM in there. And it is 1 gig of RAM. That is DDR2 5300S, PC2 5300S. And again, that S is significant. You would not be able to use non-5300S RAM in this. If it was just 5300, it would not work. But that was 1 gig worth. 1 gig stick in there. Here's the CMOS battery. I used to keep those. I will not be keeping this one, but I will pull it out. Let's get these other screws out of here, if I can find them all. That one probably just stripped that one out. Oh, because there's a screw on it. This one locked in the CD-ROM drive, so now the CD-ROM drive will just pull out with that, because see, the screw went through that. And we will open up that CD-ROM drive in a minute as well. All right, we get them all. Well, let's see if we can get the hard drive out. Now, typically, you may have to push, sometimes you had to push that way on these to get the unlock. Sometimes they just pulled right out. So let's see what we can determine here. Well, first, let's make sure all the screws are out. That one still might be stuck in there. There. Wow, it's stuck. Well, let's unstuck it. We'll get it unstuck here. Something tells me this is not the way it was supposed to be done. But it's the way we're going to do it. Oh, well, there we go. There's the hard drive. I will be a little more gentle trying to get that out of there. Not sure why. Oh, it had screws here on the side of it. Yeah, that might be a little hard to get out of there now. But we'll see. Can't get an edge on anything. Yeah, I'm not. Remember I said I was going to be a bit more careful? I lied. Because I don't care. But I do want to get it out. There's no other screws holding this in. Not even sure if it's IDE or SCSI at this point. Well, there we go. I broke right into it. That's an interesting juxtaposition. You think now it would come out. Well, maybe we'll just... Nope. You know what? I'll get pliers. Maybe I should have used pliers to begin with. Wow. Very interesting. It should not be this hard to get out. There was obviously something with this. There's no lock on it. The screws up. You know what? I may have missed a screw. Yep, that one. See, now it's out. I bet it comes out a lot easier now. Look at that. Well, it was SATA. It was. It is a Toshiba drive. Yes, Toshiba made hard drives. It was standard inside certain Dells. Let's see if we can see the size. Serial ATA, hard drive, serial number SATA, 660 gigabyte. You see that right there? 160 gigabyte. Not very big. I did destroy it, but I don't care. It's getting recycled anyways. So let's see now what we have here. Anything else on here? No. All right, I think I got all the screws out. Let's see what happens when we open the lid here now. Sometimes these lids would just, oh, we got something there. Let's pry that out. This is a cover, and then here you would see the connector for the screen. I'm confident that's what that is there, or this is for the screen. That's for the screen. This is probably for the buttons, I would believe, or something, but let's see. Let's see if this comes out. No, it does not. Let's see what else we can figure out here. Oh, you know what? I think I remember. There's screws right there on this model for the lid to come out. And there's one here as well. Now that lid will come right out. Pretty confident? Yep. Now, let's see. There's all the Wi-Fi information. The antennas on these screens, these were all for Wi-Fi because the antennas for those were up in this area. Maybe we'll open that up too to show you that, but you might be well aware of that. I don't know. Let's get these out of here. These all went to the screen for various reasons, obviously. This was probably for those microphones, I would imagine. This was for the screen itself, the display. These hinges would fail a lot on laptops, but these actually seem pretty good. Now, there should be some more screws in here I can get to. Yes, here for the keyboard. We'll have to get the keyboard out before we can get anything else out, because there's screws underneath the keyboard. There you go. There's the ribbon cable. There's the keyboard. Model number and everything there, if you are curious. It's actually in pretty good shape. Now we can get to some other screws, I would imagine, or not. Very interesting. So look at that. Dim A. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if that's another... Oh, there's the RAM. Now, we already pulled the RAM out. The other RAM was underneath the keyboard. Very interesting. I do recall that a bit. It is exactly the same as the other one. So it had 2 gig total of RAM in it, but one underneath the keyboard and the other one was right here. Instead of doing them both sides, they did it that way. Let's see what's underneath this, if anything. Nope, nothing underneath there. I don't know why they did that. Now, are they perfectly on the other side of each other? Yes, they are perfectly right in line. So that's why they did that. Any other screws on the front here? Oh, yep, there's a few there, it looks like. Let's get those out. Well, these little screws stick to the drill bit, or the driver bit. All right, this is half open already, you can see. Let's see if we can get it the rest of the way. No, we cannot. There are more screws I'm not seeing. No. It's probably just a bit there. Let's see. And this is where you'll pinch your fingers a lot if you're not careful. You can even slice your fingers on this aluminum. I've done that many times over the years, probably more times than I care to mention. Well, let's see if we can get this out. No, we cannot. Very interesting. Is that a screw? That might be a screw there. I can't imagine that's keeping anything in. Oh, these might be. That is to the those buttons we seen earlier. I can't imagine that was. It was. That's what was keeping it in. Those 2 screws. Look at that. And our first look at the motherboard in here. See if we can figure out what's keeping it in there. Oh, there's another screw right there. Thought I had them all. Oh, I missed a bunch. Okay. Let's get this one out. Now this should come right out. Look at that. So there's the underside of the palm rest area. These were parts that would be replaced. Still not sure of that. It does look, oh, that's where the power button was, I bet. Yes. No, the power button was right there. So what was right there? Nothing. And it just went to a spot on the motherboard. Well, let's see where it went on the motherboard. It went right over here. Very interesting. Nope, not sure. Does that give us any indication as to what that is? Does have a MAC address. Guess that's. It has a MAC address. It connects to something. It has some kind of controller. Oh, there we go. There's the part number. Dell part number OCW725. Yeah, it must be a. That tells me that made contact there with something. And you can also see it looks burnt or bad. Very interesting. There's the back end of the touchpad. Maybe interesting, maybe not. There's the touchpad. So there's the palm rest. These were the buttons for the power and everything. Again, just a simple cable here. We'll pull that out. These ribbon cables here have no value unless you need it. If you need it, I'm sorry, because you should not be using a laptop of this age unless you're really a retro guy of sorts. Then more power to you. But yeah, there you go. Let's get this touchpad out of here, maybe. Not sure if that has any value or anything. Why did that not come out? I undid the bolts. Oh, there's a few more. 4 screws holding this touchpad in. Kind of silly, but I guess you know that's not silly. They put a lot of pressure on those things. There's the buttons for the top part. There's the mouse buttons, and then the touchpad. Oh, that's part of it. That does not come out, but the board probably comes off. No, it does not. So it was just these. I missed a screw there, but I don't care. There's the mouse buttons. And again, all right, let's move on. We now have the motherboard. You can see it's quite dirty. There's another modem. It says right there, modem. So let's get that out. Sorry. Yep. Modem. Let's see, it doesn't give us anything else as far as baud rate or anything. Press there. Oh, because that's how it connected, was that little connector there is how it connected. Connections. Interesting. Okay, here's that PCMCIA slot. Let's get that out. Ooh. Very interesting. I may not, well. Get that out, we'll see. Well, got a few more right there. And that was just the cover for the slot, obviously. And there you can see the actual slot itself. See, that was where the card would slide in and connect with that there. Now I pulled this right off the motherboard because I wanted to. Little cables. Let's get this whole tray out. I bet I have to get that out to get the motherboard out. Maybe not, but pull it out anyways. Again, slice your hand big time on that. Sorry. All right, let's get the processor fan off, which this was all one big connection. Many times you could not replace just the fan, but this one looks like you could. So look at that dirt. That is not supposed to be there. That is all dirt and dust. Obviously cat hair or something that was preventing airflow from the fan out through this. So it was probably overheating quite a bit because that definitely blocked it. But there's the copper and cast iron, I would suppose. There's the processor. Oh, it does look like it will come out if I get a small enough screwdriver. Okay, this processor will come out. Just half turn, and there you go. There's the processor. You can read that on there. Again, AMD Radeon 64X2. Other information at the top there that you may or may not read. Okay, got that out. Let's disconnect some things here. You know what? Let's get the fan out. The fan is underneath the motherboard here. There we go. The fan is, it does seem a little rough, but it was working overtime with that dust stuck in there. All right, now we can get to the motherboard, it seems. See, where did I miss one at? Oh, it's just cables here. But you can see that I did not notice that are holding it in there yet. We'll look at those further in a minute. Let's see, where's another screw that I may have missed? I do not see one. There's something over here definitely holding it in. Oh, there's one right there. Excuse me. See if that was it. Oh, seems like there's another one over here somewhere. Yep, right there. So you can see that. There we go. The motherboard is out. Now, obviously, DDR2 only. Interesting, to say the least. There's the AMD, you can see that. AMD video card integrated on the motherboard. Rico, that's interesting. That is a chip of some sort. What is this one? Broadcom. That would have been Wi-Fi or wireless of some sort, communications. This one is also AMD, I believe. Hard to tell on that one. But there you go. On the back side, there's those WAN. That was a memory card reader slot. SD. There's the FireWire we talked about before, a mini FireWire, which is interesting. And there you be. So that is the motherboard out of this laptop. There you go. Nothing worthwhile here. Switch and that, so this will just get tossed. There's the speaker wires. These were the speakers that we shown from externally, and this was the cable just to the headphone jacks there, and this one went to the switch to turn on and off the wireless. That was the modem there for that one. Yeah, the speakers are worthless. I'm sure they're blown up by now. This one, oh, there's infrared. How about that? An infrared light, probably for screen darkness, possibly. I'm not sure. Foxconn. Well, there you go. There's the manufacturer of the motherboard. Foxconn was a motherboard manufacturer. There you go. Made in China, everything else. So a lot of stamps on there, which is interesting. Even over here. Look at all those stamp markings. Even in here. That is really interesting. Intel or AMD, interesting. So they used this same cover, whether you had Intel or AMD. I guess you had to run wires differently depending on which one it was. Very interesting. Much more interesting than I thought it was going to be. So there you be. All right, let's clean up here a little bit. There's our motherboard. Here's our screen. I was talking of tearing this down, but I believe I get more if it's complete like this, oddly enough. So I'm going to leave it just like this. It is a Dell, like I said, red cover. That may have been special, but you can tell it's pretty old and beat up. But we're going to leave it just like that. This is trash. Oh, CD-ROM drive. Let's open that up. I'll show you that here on the close-up. Okay, on here, there is a door here, the button, the hole I told you about previously. You hit that, and it will open up. Look at that. Oh, nothing in there. How about that? So that was that. We do have this. Again, straight copper. Probably more, that may be aluminum. Maybe cast iron. No, you know what? I bet that would be aluminum. So I'll put it in the bin. We'll let the recycler figure it out. Processor fan. don't need that. Don't need that. Or this. The modem. There's the processor. Plastic stuff. So I believe that's going to be it. My first laptop teardown. It probably did not go very well. But hope you liked it anyways. Thank you for watching. And we're just going to catch you on the next one.